Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another Figma review, and today I'm looking at Figma number 225, Ninja Slayer, from the comic and the upcoming anime by Trigger of the same name. And you'll see here this isn't made by Max Factory, this is actually made by Phat Company. So as always, let's take a look around the box before busting it out. Through the window on the front of the box, we can see the figure itself, 3 alternate faces, a pair of nunchucks, some sushi, a shuriken, and we can also see some black effect parts down there as well. As always, pictures on the top, bottom, left side, and the right side, as well as around here on the back of the box. So far you can see this looks awesome. So let's bust it out of the box and see what we've got. Also you can see the DI stage segment back there at the back of the box in a dark mustardy yellow. So here's the clear inner packaging, and like we've seen before, the figure, 3 heads, sushi, nunchucks. However, this we haven't seen. Moving around to the back, and here we've got some thrown shuriken effect parts, as well as this here, which seems to be a scarf. Also down here, some speech bubbles. Pull that section out and see what's on the front of that. And down here we have this grappling hook as well. Some more in here than actually implied by the size of the box and the pictures on the back, so that's pretty cool. Open that up a bit further, and down here in the bottom, we have the Figma bag, the instructions. On the front, the usual don't eat it, and inside of this, we've got the list of parts, how to attach the parts, which are used for holding up the speech bubbles, how to attach the effect parts, the severed head, and the grappling hook, or hook rope, as it's called here. And last up in here is the bag, which has the stand, base, and the alternate hands. Almost missed this, but we've also got a bag with 2 other alternate hands, a spare wrist joint, a part for using with the stand, as well as the parts for holding the speech bubbles. But first, as always, is the main event, the figure itself. So here is Ninja Slayer with everything that he comes with. And you really do get a lot more in here than what you would think from the size of that box. I haven't seen a Figma with this much accessories in quite a while. And what we've got in here is some speech bubbles, the parts for holding up the speech bubbles, some dark red flame effect parts over here, this shuriken, as well as these thrown shuriken effect parts. We've got 2 nigiri sushi here, and this looks like tamagoyaki, which is pretty much like an omelet, and this one looks like maguro, which is tuna. At least that's what I think they are. We've got a decapitated enemy ninja head, as well as 3 heads for Ninja Slayer, 9 alternate hands, that's 11 including the default fists, and 12 or 13 when you include these joined hands here. As well as that, we've got a longer torn version of the scarf, the grappling hook, and the nunchucks over here. Looking at everything a little bit closer now, and we've got 2 widespread open palmed hands, 2 hands for holding stuff, 2 flat palmed open hands, a hand up here for holding the sushi, as well as this hand here, which I assume is for holding this. Maybe something like that. As well as those, we've also got this hand here, which is for holding the shurikens, as well as these joined Aisatsu hands. And pretty much Aisatsu is just Japanese for greeting. To change the hands, like usually, just pop it off, like this, and then just stick on the one that you want. And there are those awesome joined hands. Next is that bigger, torn version of the scarf, and this looks amazing. This is totally going to be the one that I am going to leave on him. The clear, dark red flame effect parts, and this looks amazing. Ever so slightly translucent, that looks badass. Getting really close now to look at the shuriken, and even though that's tiny, it looks great in a nice gunmetal silver. And here is the thrown version with 3 shurikens, and it's holding the end here for attaching it to the wrist. A better look at that decapitated ninja head in blue with a gold face guard, its eyes rolled back in its head there. That looks nasty, that looks so cool. And a big gouge in the side of its head. Also some little indents here so the hand can hold it. That is very nicely detailed, and there is the nasty end in purple. Next up is the grappling hook. There's the end also in gunmetal, and the rest of the wire here is bendable like that and will retain its shape. So that will be perfect for some nice dynamic throwing poses. There is the sushi with the tamagoyaki, and that is nicely detailed for something so small. And there is the maguro, and the lines have even been added to the top here, and a bit of a nice rice texture down here. That's some nice attention to detail. Next are the nunchucks. The stick part is in plain black plastic, but the chain, as you can see, is an actual chain, so that can hang naturally off things, and you can just kind of flail it about for fun. Next, onto the speech bubbles. They're pretty simple, but they look so effective. So first up is this big Washoi in red and black. And to be honest, I have no idea what this means. I gave it a quick Google and it said it's kind of like heave ho, but has other meanings as well, so to be honest, I have no idea. Next up is his greeting, and that is Domo Ninja Reya desu. Next one, Ya Gua Aie. The last one is Haiku o Yome. And this, as far as I know, means let's recite a haiku. As for faces, we've got this half Naraku face, as well as this half Naraku face with clear effect part at the eye there, and that looks pretty sweet. And last we have the full Naraku face. Attaching the speech bubbles just involves sticking them into this little section here, which connects into the back, like so. Onto articulation, and as always, from the head down. So there's the head all the way down, and that is pretty good all the way to the back, and it is a bit limited there. As for side-to-side movement, the head can rotate all the way around. A decent side-to-side tilt. The arm at the shoulder all the way up. And as you can see, that armor part there moves out of the way when that moves up. That is pretty cool. This is also double jointed in here, so that can move up and down like that, as well as spin all the way around at the shoulder. The bend at the elbow goes just beyond 90 degrees, and at the elbow is that new Figma joint, so that can move around in pretty much any way that you want it to. So pretty decent movement, as you can see there. There's a joint here, as you can see on the back for the scarf, that can rotate there, as well as move up and down. We've got two joints in the torso here, one down at the waist and one up here at the chest. So there's the crunch all the way to the front, and that is pretty damn good, as well as all the way to the back. Some side-to-side movement here as well, mainly down at the waist. Articulation at the waist all the way up to the front. That's a pretty good kick there. All the way to the back, and that's pretty good as well. And there it is all the way out to the side. So Ninja Slayer can pretty much just almost do the splits. Next, the bend at the knee, and there it is all the way back, and that's a pretty decent bend right there. As you can see, there's a bit of an indent down here for the calf, so that can go pretty far back. That looks really good. And lastly, down the ankle, there is the foot all the way down. There it is all the way up. And there's also a little bit of a tilt to the side there as well. Can't really get much out of that though. And as well as that, we've also got a bend here at the toes, but that is a bit on the stiff side. So the articulation is befitting of a ninja. And he's also got some pretty decent balance. So that is it for the review. Phat Company really have stepped up the Figma game with this figure. Not only is it that epic Figma level of quality we've come to love, but man, this box is bursting at the seams with accessories. The play value of this thing is phenomenal, and to be honest, I think this is the most accessories I've ever seen come in a Figma box this small. In short, it's an epic figure with a lot of variation. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and make sure to come back for more Figma reviews. See you next time.